views and opinions expressed on the following program do not necessarily reflect that of radio station WVLT, Clear Communications Incorporated, its staff and management, or our sponsors. WVLT, Clear Communications Incorporated, retains the right to record all phone calls received during this program for future promotions.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Steve Solof for InformTheVoteNJ Radio Hour here on Cruisin' 92.1 WVLT. And this week, we're going to call a little bit of an audible. My scheduled guest, Rob McQuaid, was in the emergency room, but it seems like he's going to show up in a little bit. But just by serendipitous chance, we have somebody quite interesting that was just standing in the studio, ready to do a little bit of promoting and getting familiar with the area. So, who you look like somebody? What's going on here?
Well, I probably look like my father. That's what most people seem to think.
No way.
I always say I look like myself, but I do favor my father. My father was Elvis Presley.
Wow. Now, tell me a little bit about that, because I don't think most people realize that Elvis Presley had a son.
Yes, he actually has quite a few additional children. We found about 5 that we've been able to verify, and that's through DNA and through cross-references through family members and birth certificates. And there's another 25 after that we think could be, and somebody estimated as much as 100. And I always look at people and they'll say, well, he only had a daughter. And I'll say, please, my father sure excited an awful lot of women in his day. And you're going to tell me that only one woman out of all those beauty queens.
Are you trying to tell a former professional musician that one of the most famous musicians of all time had unannounced relations with females?
Yes, I am. In other words, my father was one of the biggest panty droppers in the whole world.
That's very plausible. That is a very plausible premise.
And can you hold it against him? I mean, the man was beautiful. I mean,
Sure.
He really was in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah, of course. So then, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing on a back road in Vineland?
Well, let me tell you, we actually got our promoters here, and she had came to us. We were on a broadcast on Bandstand Radio, talking about the upcoming book called In My Father's Footsteps, and the album that was getting ready to drop, and a world tour that we were working on. And she happened to call up Bandstand Radio and said, I want to talk to him, and can't we get you to go ahead and help with fundraising on an organization? I said, well, what are you doing? I'm willing to help everybody. You know, I love everybody.
Sure.
And she said, we're trying to raise funds for Lewy body and Parkinson's research. And I said, oh, I know some people that's got that. And I'm sure everybody in our listening audience probably knows somebody who has had that or been involved with that. And I said, absolutely, I'd be more than glad to help you out. And she says, well, I want to bring you to Washington Township, and we got a theater there, the WTHS Theater in Washington Township, the Playhouse Theater there. And I said, I'd love to do it. So we've got a date scheduled for September 27th.
Okay.
And the doors open at 5 o'clock, and show will begin about 7.
Great.
I've got Benny Clark coming with me. Now, Benny Clark worked with Otis Blackwell, and they are famous for working with my father on 4 of my father's biggest hits, Fever, Don't Be Cruel, All Shook Up, and Return to Sender.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
So he's going to be there.
You've got the original guys.
Oh, yes, we do. And we've also got Silk Cozart, who's my personal manager, and you probably remember him from White Men Can't Jump and a whole slew of other films.
Right.
And he's going to be there actually filming the concert for later release, and also for use as a promo for the world tour.
Great. Now, since just by coincidence I'm running...
There are no coincidences.
I've been learning that more and more, and I'm hearing a lot of the local politicians say that more and more.
And I got to tell you, I mean, it was by chance. It was late in the day, and we were supposed to come by and see an ad person here at the radio station, and the promoter said, well, it's kind of late in the day. I said, well, let's take a ride out there. I got a good comfy car. We'll take a ride out there, and we'll just see where it's at, and then that way we can come back tomorrow. And so we were here, and then the radio DJ for Cruisin' said, why don't you come on in, and we'll give you a plug on the radio. And we did that. And we got to talk and made new friends with them. And then you walked through the door.
Yeah.
And you said,
bam, 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 you're on a roll.
I got a feeling that you need to be my guest on the show today. And I said, oh, really? And he says, yeah, because isn't it a coincidence? I said, I don't believe in coincidences, but I don't think my other guest interview is going to show up. They had a problem. And I said, well, I'm here.
So, yeah.
And I have to add.
Go ahead.
Since I am that radio DJ, that I'm in big trouble. No, I'm just kidding.
You're playing fast and loose with all the guests.
You know, it must take years and years and years. I think I've been in the business for 42 years.
Yeah.
Been at this radio station for 31.
Yeah.
And I think there's always a first.
Right.
I think this is the first time. I remember way back on college radio, my college radio station.
Sure.
Where we had planned interviews.
Yeah.
With like big time people in sports and stuff, and it was nice.
Yeah.
But I think this is the first time that I've actually had somebody in a good way walk in and just spur of the moment, by reflex, interview on the air.
Spontaneous.
And see how it led to something for your show?
We're both rock stars.
This is wonderful.
Keep the show going, right?
Well, and you're a fellow musician.
That's right. I was going to get into that in a minute, but let's get back to the political angle to this, because I know you probably, as a musician, you don't want to get too far into politics, but we were talking off air, and this was an example of something that is happening from up top, affecting us locally, and how we can connect those dots, as opposed to, sometimes you're watching stuff about the Trump administration and you're like, well, is anything he's doing actually going to affect us around here? And we were able to connect that dot a little bit. So why don't you explain how that relates to you? Well,
I just feel like, we're all Americans.
Sure.
Throw away the Republican, throw away the Democrat, throw away the Libertarian. Let's just be American. And when she came to me, I didn't ask her what her politics were.
Sure.
All she did was told me that we've had cutbacks in the Lewy body and the Parkinson's research. And I said, well, you know what? I think we can help you out.
Right.
And it's the American thing to do. And I really think that's what, Make America Great is all about. It's not about the Republicans or Trump. It's about us as Americans retaking control of our lives and the power that we've got out there.
Sure.
As Americans, I mean, we should. Americans made this country the greatest country in the whole world.
Right. It's reminding me of that quote. It's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And maybe this is just one of those moments where, okay, maybe some cuts happen, but we start calling each other on the phone and figuring out how to fix it, as opposed to just endlessly complaining about it.
And check it out. Kennedy was a Democrat.
Yeah.
And he came up with that. Trump comes along and he says, I'm going to adopt that.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Let's go do it.
Yeah,
let's bring it all home.
Let's actually take agency over our own lives and fix things.
That's right.
That's cool. So then, back to the music thing. We were talking off air before you came on, and it was funny. I used to work on the cruise ships, and when I was on Royal Caribbean for about a year, we had an Elvis guy come on a few times, and I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is a fun show to do. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I think people my generation sometimes think of the Elvis music as like from generations past, but some of those songs like I'm caught in a trap.
Oh yes,
that's timeless, right? It's like I grew up and I've been through a few of those relationships myself, and so then when I hear one of those songs, it's like, oh, I get it now. It's not just some like old rockabilly song from 1950 or whatever it was. It's like, oh, this is something I might actually sing at karaoke one day.
Well, and you realize that a whole new generation of people are discovering my father. The children that were never grown, or even born during that time period, now all of a sudden going, wow, who is this? Hey, Mom, Dad, who is Elvis Presley? Why do you ask? Well, because I've been listening to some of his music, and it's great.
Yeah, sure. You can't get past wise men say.
Can't help falling in love.
Here's an interesting story. I was in Vietnam during COVID. Right?
Oh, okay.
And we had our little expat community of people that we would hang out with, like other travelers and stuff like I was. And I wound up doing that tune for a girl I had a crush on over there. It's kind of interesting how all those dots seem to connect in one way or another. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I'm on the other side of the world, and I have a crush on a girl, and I'm going to sing this random Elvis song because something just infected my brain.
Right. Sorry about our fans out there. That was just a phone call that came through, and I get 1 million phone calls a day. And so I try to field them all, but they're just going to have to wait because you all come first.
We're on the radio.
That's right. Live.
So, just to clarify, I guess, do you put on a show?
We do. We will be in full concert that night. And you're going to expect to come and have a party because I like to do a lot of things. I might kick some beach balls out there with a logo for the tour on it. And we're going to be having a lot of stuff given away. And we're going to be doing a lot of things along those lines. The outfit that I'm going to be wearing that night is actually bejeweled with close to $1 million in diamonds.
Jesus.
And those have been donated for the tour by a company in India. And believe it or not, they still had custom fees, even though the jewels were free.
Really?
There still had to be a customs fee paid on those. And
all kinds of rules going on in the world.
No, I don't. Some people will say, well, are you going to do a jumpsuit? No, we don't do the jumpsuits. That was my father's shtick. And he did that. I've got a two-piece suit. But what I've done is I've modified the best things about my father's outfits that I like. For instance, the sparklies. I like sparkly. I like bling.
Hey, you're on stage. One of my former voice teachers said, if you can ham it up on stage, just take advantage of everything because it's meant to engage the crowd.
Exactly. It's part of the show.
Right.
You know, it's our shtick. And that's what you call it in show business, folks. It's the shtick. A lot of comedians, they say, yeah, that's my shtick.
Yep. Cool. So part of that modernization, I assume you have a wireless microphone too, right?
Well, no. I like to use the corded mics.
Oh, wow. Why is
Believe
that?
it or not. Well, the reason is because sometimes with the wireless mics, you have a fade out or an interruption. And I don't like that. I like the corded mic. Plus, I can't play with the microphone like you can with the corded mic.
Oh, okay. Like the...
Yeah, you can swing it around.
The whiplashes and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly, swing it around. You can dangle it. No, I'm not going to tell you. We're not going to go there, folks, okay? This is a children's show, and it's going to be a children's show that night,
This is not the Red Room show.
No. But I really want everybody in the listening area, bring your moms, your dads, your uncles, your grandpas, grandmothers. I want to meet everybody. I like meeting people. We've been on a couple of years' worth of meet and greet tours, just telling people the stories and sharing my life and sharing the life of my father with so many people on meet and greets, and I've come to enjoy that.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they've told me, they said, well, you better enjoy it now because when you get into the larger venues, we can't be doing that.
Right.
And I'm going, well, yeah, but on the smaller venues, I'm sure going to enjoy it.
Yeah,
and,
you have to.
And it's true. When COVID hit, we were scheduled to do a residency at the Orleans Casino and Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, and that's a 10,000-seat arena.
Wow.
And we were supposed to be doing a residency there starting in 2020, and of course, COVID hit.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that.
A lot of things happened.
Oh,
with
Vegas
COVID.
closed down. I don't think Vegas ever thought there was anything that could close Vegas, but it did.
Sure did. I mean, I could rant about, I have a pretty good life. Like I grew up, somewhat well off or whatever. My parents are pediatricians, but that COVID thing, it really affected all aspects of life where, if you put yourself out of it, sometimes it seems like minor complaints, but it really had a ripple effect.
It had a huge ripple effect, and I know I got put into one of the COVID units because I came down with COVID, nearly died.
Yeah.
When I was admitted to the hospital that night, I looked at the doctor and I said, "What do you think, Doc?" And he says, "I don't expect to see you here tomorrow morning."
Wow.
And I said, "Are you serious?" And he says, "I'm serious." He says, "I would call your family back," because they weren't allowed to come into the hotel.
Right.
And they were garbed in one of those oxygen suits when they picked me up at the curb at the Veterans Hospital. I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
And they picked me up at the curb and wheeled me into the COVID unit and checked me all out. And they said, "Yeah, you got the bacterial and the virus pneumonia in both lungs, and you're filling up with fluid, and you might as well check it out. Say your prayers now because you're gone."
Well, I'm glad you're
and
still here and
all.
kicking.
I battled it all night long, and I heard a lot of code blue, COVID, unit.
Yeah.
Code blue, and that was going on all night. And the next morning, I looked at the nurses and I said, "You guys had a rough time last night." And she says, "Yeah, but we're going to save you." And they did.
Wow.
And the Veterans Hospital up there in Johnson City, Tennessee, did a great job. They just really did a great job.
I'm glad to see you still kicking. You're here, and we're able to have this serendipitous radio moment.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Right. Well,
I told them, folks, I said, you never can tell who's going to walk through your front door. It could be Jeffrey Dahmer, it could be Michael Presley, and they go, "Oh my gosh, that far apart from one another." I said, "Yeah, well, it just gives you a good, type of attitude."
Yeah. Well, I hate to cut things short, but I do think Rob actually did make it here from the
Good.
hospital.
I'm so glad. And I guess he's going to be all right because I see him out there walking
Yeah, I
around.
think he had some sort of like a bite on his hand.
Oh,
or something.
no.
He does a lot of work in the community, and I mean, I don't really know what the situation is, but he does a lot of trash pickup, and he walks through the streets and stuff. So anything random could probably happen to him because he's a really boots on the ground type of guy.
Well, we'd like to ask your friends and family and listeners and everybody to go ahead and notify all of their on email and all of the texting. Spread the word. It's going for a good organization, Lewy body dementia and also Parkinson's disease. That's going to be September 27th at the WTHS Playhouse Theater. Tickets are available on Eventbrite.
Yeah.
Now they just started to go on sale, and they're moderately priced.
What time at night is the show?
The doors open at 5 o'clock. Show will begin at 7.
So you know what I do is I usually rip these videos from the Facebook, and then I do a write-up afterwards. So
Cool.
I'll write out all the event details and put it in the description so nobody
that would
forgets.
be great.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you
course.
so very much.
Easy
And
peasy.
I think she's got an actual ad that you can add to that, and
Sure.
some audio.
Send it over or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got
For the station. Make sure you get my email before you leave.
Yeah.
That way, because
for your email, because you've got an email program here that's running live, and you do that for there, right?
well, it's like the station has their thing, then I have my YouTube and Facebook. You know what I mean?
okay,
There's like
sure.
5 different lines of promotion and communication that we
use
can open
whatever
up
you
there.
can and get the word out there and let them know. We're going to be looking forward to it. I can't wait to meet everybody and see
Yeah.
everybody, and we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to do a lot of music that night, and you're going to meet some great celebrities.
Yeah, and hopefully there's no super important political meeting and I can show up and feel like I'm back on stage in the orchestra at Royal Caribbean.
There you go.
Anyway,
Nice
Michael,
to meet you.
Thank you very much for
You're very
stopping
welcome.
in.
Thank you for having us today.
Yes, and a not so coincidental serendipitous experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, great.